Oh, just the element of fire in front of a light source is like one of my favourite things. I could watch it all day. I just feel very at peace. I'm aware I'm in a little bit of an awkward filming setup. This is not really something you've seen me do on the channel. I'm sitting on the floor using my bed as a little table. Don't even ask me why. I'm not even sure why. It felt right, so that's what we're dealing with today. Today I'm going to be doing something quite fun, and I want to emphasise on the word fun because this is just some fun. None of the stuff that I say in this video is an accusation and a declaration. Everything is a prediction. Let's say light-hearted predictions that I want to make within the pop culture of YouTube, I guess. I thought it would be fun to do some predictions. I've done this before, but what I want to do differently in this video is quite bold but forward predictions about what I feel they are going to experience within the next, let's say, 2 months. 2 to 3 months. Because why not? I've got it documented, so if it happens and I can look back on it and that will look really cool. If it doesn't happen, I can figure out why. Stuff like this is a really good study technique as well, because you can make predictions for yourself, and then if they come true, obviously that's going to help you realize that that card means a specific thing and you read it really well and you did really good. If not, you can look back at the cards you got and think, you know, well, what did it mean? What did happen? How is that related to the cards I pulled? Okay, I'm gonna jump straight into this video with Trisha Paytas. For some reason I was intending to do a lot of males for this, but she's popped up into my head. She's in a period right now where there's a lot happening. She's just bought a house, she's going to get married soon, she's going through lots of changes, so it would have been cooler to predict some of those before they happen, but hey ho. What's in store for Trisha within the next 3 months? Oh, I'm seeing loads of happiness. I've just pulled the 3 of Cups, and obviously that's about celebration, having something to drink about, and just be amongst, I see her being amongst a group of people who she, you know, feels respected. Whoa. Okay. This is regarding her wedding, her marriage, because we've got the Hierophant to clarify the 3 of Cups. Her wedding, I think, is going to go really well. She's going to be really happy with who she invited. She's going to feel loved, and it's just going to be a really beautiful time. I don't know how quickly that's happening. Is that happening within the next 3 months? Because it looks like it could be. I did also get the Tower card, so I don't feel like it's a negative, but I'll pull another card to see what that's all about, because the Tower card doesn't have to be bad. It can just be starting fresh, and sometimes it's a very much needed starting fresh. It's almost like the wedding, the ceremony will be like a breakthrough moment in her life, like a life-changing moment. So let's clarify the Tower. Okay. Oh no, don't do this to me. I'm not gonna lie here. And this actually really saddens me to say, because I really like Trisha and Moses and what they've got going. But there's something to do with the wedding which I feel like could potentially go wrong. I see like really high vibrations, like celebrations, and Trisha feeling within her crowd and feeling happy in her circle. But then I'm seeing stuff to do with her love and the wedding just burning into flames quite abruptly for some reason. I've got the King of Cups here. The King of Cups, are you joking me? Like, he's a king floating on water. That's very, very, very Moses, because the King of Cups is someone who's really good with emotions and water, and obviously Moses is all about water. That card definitely represents him, and he comes out with a 3 of Swords, which is heartbreak. But after this strike, as it were, I'm seeing a lot of reflection, a lot of looking back, thinking like how things got to where they are, or how, you know, I'm actually seeing quite like mature energy for some reasons. After this happening, I'm seeing the Hermit card with strength, figuring things out, trying to decide on where to go from here, being quite wise in their choices, but with the strength connected to that, I'm also seeing like choosing to pick themselves back up, choosing the more empowering route, you know, having the courage to just see through it. So I don't see any problem with Trisha coming out of this. We'll finish the reading on hopefully a positive. Yeah, we've got the star card, so lots of healing. Wow, it's actually something that weirdly I think brings Trisha to a really authentic, raw, stripped back moment. The star card with the strength, like these are two really empowering feminine cards to get. It's like, we move on, we heal. She knows she's super capable, but I don't think she actually has much of an issue getting over it. What is that all about? What is to be expected for Trisha in the next 3 months, please, Spirit? There's so much energy around here that is for Trisha that is egotistical. Someone who's got a big ass ego, irrational and sketchy, act a little bit unethical, and I really don't get the feeling that this is her, and I could be wrong, but I feel as though there is someone really like smart and intelligent, quite brutal and analytical in their ways of thinking, who is going to try and use that to their advantage to like tactfully sneak about and try and get away with something. But they're quite an intense character. Like, they come, they take, and then they leave, and it's sort of like this sweeping action of like dash in, dash out. Yeah, there's lots of deceiving and taking advantage of. This is definitely a masculine energy. This is a male figure. It could even be associated to 2 male figures. It's almost as though, as well, I feel like someone tries to come and piss on Trisha's party. Tower is at the bottom of the deck again. It's gonna be dramatic, I think, when it happens, but she's gonna, don't, like, if you're a Trisha fan, like, don't stress. I feel like she's gonna deal with it just fine. And there's a lot of like bad communication involved with this. So either things will get misread, or it will be on social media, like indirecting each other, and it will be messages taken out of context, or even some toxic like tweets that are put out, etc. Just communication will be really bad. And it's also associated to, I feel like, I want to say a bit of jealousy keeps popping up into my head. I don't love to see how that's going to go down, because I actually really hope that the relationship works out really well, but I'm picking up on some things there which are interesting. So I'll end that one there. But I want to move to Zoella now. They are very happy right now. They're having a baby, and it would have been amazing to predict that before that had happened, because not many people anticipated that, I don't think. Let's have a more positive reading now, Zoe. I'm feeling good mental health wise. I feel like if she has gone through anything recently, which I don't know about, I don't really tend to keep on top of a lot of her stuff at the moment, to be honest, but I see a lot of like self-awareness, consciousness around her well-being and mental health, all of that jazz. I see her family life being really solid, her being amongst so many generations. Obviously she's bringing in a new child right now, so there's going to be a lot of talk for her discussing like the family tree right now. I feel like the people around her are very emotionally mature, and like I see her being just very like emotionally stable. Oh my god, Empress at the bottom of the deck. I feel like pregnancy for her, I feel, is going to make her feel very empowered and strong, and she's going to be very focused around like meditation and everything involved to do with being present. I don't know what the term is, but you know when people give birth using like meditation sort of techniques, I get the impression she might be looking into that, thinking about that. All in all, emotionally I feel really good. I feel like she had a lot of anxieties to do with giving birth, and I don't think that will be the case, basically. No, we don't want another heartbreak. What is this now? I kind of don't want to look. Something in her life, I think, is gonna quite swiftly come to a halt, come to an end. It's gonna cut quite deep. 3 of Swords, the Death card, and the Tower card. This is some intense stuff, guys. This is associated to a male figure in her life. Does she have a relationship with her dad at all? I get the feeling this is something like to do with health, but not for her. I mean, stuff like this is always difficult because she's not going to listen to my stupid video and she's very unlikely to watch this, but if she was here, I would say to her, take the time to ground yourself a little bit, because I feel like there's going to be something big enough to really throw you off track a little bit. Maybe think up a plan B, organise your life in a way where you can rely and rest on something when others flop. She might assume something's going to go one way, she might think that it looks this way, but then it ends up being the other way, and then she realises that there's illusions and things that came into play to mislead her. There's definitely a male figure involved once again in this situation. I don't know whether that's just a male figure who is part of the story, not, you know, the cause of it. But my god, I just think something's just going to completely like throw her off, and it's sad because I started off her reading thinking that she was in a really good place mentally, but I feel like some sense of betrayal and hurt and like deceiving is going down. Why have both readings that I've pulled today picked up on deceiving characters? Something will really kind of close off and she will have to move on and transition forward. But I actually feel like those illusions I was talking to you about earlier will just disappear, and she will be very clear and focused in where she should be next because of something else leaving. I think actually she's going to feel more clarity than ever, like in consequence to this stuff. I see her being very focused on herself, her health, her house, her home. Even if it's like news regarding her health that maybe isn't the best news, ironically that makes you more clear, doesn't it? Because it's news that brings you closer to the truth and what she's dealing with. So it brings clarity, even if it might be a negative thing that brings you clarity. But it will make her focus a bit more on her pregnancy, and I don't want anyone like taking this information and running with it. I think that it's going to make her really assertive and like determined, and she's going to really want to fight through and push through this thing that's kind of pushing against her. I feel like she's just going to be like, I can do this regardless, like I've got this. I feel a really empowering like push that comes out of this dark space. Right, you guys know this is inevitable. I'm going to read Shane. I always read Shane. Got an obsession of reading Shane Dawson. This time I felt less enthusiastic about reading him because at this point I don't even know where I stand with him, but I'm intrigued. That makes me more intrigued, ironically. We're all anticipating what's going on with him, and I feel like because of Ryland still making content, I'm just like, what's happening? Relationship wise, I feel like they're really happy. I don't know how many of you guys are interested in how that's going, but behind the scenes I feel like, you know, beautiful words are being said, like loving reassurance and just like good communication, you know, good health. The house looks really beautiful, like all of that's being taken care of. There's a lack of moderation for Shane in some aspect or another. He's maybe heavily relying on something, or he's struggling to get a mental balance. I feel like he's doing a lot of sleeping. I know that sounds really stupid to say, but I'm getting like oversleeping, staying in bed, like bad moderation in terms of moving his body, and like his thoughts are very heavy, and he's not got a good balance of like the good and the positive and the pessimist, you know, voices at the moment. I feel like things feel heavy, like he's constantly needing to sleep them off or like meditate over them, but then he's doing that a lot. Like he is aware of what people are saying, what people think, what he's done. He's very conscious about those things. Anyone who thinks like he's being ignorant, I actually feel like the opposite from this reading. Obviously this is just from the reading, and he's having to really make his bed and sit with it. What's that expression? You make your bed and you lay in it, sit in it. He's not seeing anyone, honestly. He's just reflecting constantly. He's on his own, reflecting, sleeping, not leaving his room. Bad, probably eating or drinking habits as well. I actually think he contemplates coming back to YouTube quite often, and I think he might be really focusing on his options and the likelihood of that working out okay, and like thinking I'm ready but also cautious. There's cautious energy of like there's a lot out here to deal with. That's the feeling I'm getting. Like he is stepping carefully, but he's also very, very conscious and aware of like every move he makes. He's at the moment standing from afar. I actually don't think it will be anytime soon when he comes back online, if I'm honest, but I do feel like he's getting some encouragement, or that's trying to be pushed or changed by a person from his past or his family. I don't know whether that's his mum, and I'm sure I mentioned this in another reading before. I feel like someone in his family, I'm getting the feeling of mother, is encouraging him to come back online and to speak his truth or say his story or whatever. And I don't know whether they physically will come back on with him or something in a like way of support in some way, because at the moment obviously it's not looking good for him. Like I think he's aware that he's not going to be listened to, and he's got a lot to speak for and stick up for himself about, because there's not many people who have his back. But there are, you know, childhood connections and family connections that have his back for sure. So I'm wondering whether they will be physically actually like joining him to try and encourage him. But I'm going to finish with Shane's now, but I will probably finish, who should I finish off with? Oh my god, there's been so much tea recently with David Dobrik. I'm wondering whether we can have a little reading on him, because I reckon there's going to be some massive changes with his channel and what's going on with him. So let's have a look. He's got a similar card to Shane actually, so obviously they're both aware that they've got a lot of stuff going against them right now, when actually a lot of the stuff is like their own doing obviously, but like they're having to fight against that, push through. I think they both feel like they have something to say, but they are both aware that it means saying against so much which goes against them. Like they're aware of the fact they've got to put up a fight here. And I actually feel like that's directly what David will do within the next 3 months. I don't see him going away. I see him just pushing, trying to prove himself, trying to show his worth, try and like prove to others that he, you know, is worth it. He's going to be pretty ballsy in the next 3 months. I feel he's not going to get knocked down by this. I think it's actually going to do the opposite. He's going to kind of grow from this experience. I do feel like all this truth coming out, I think, will restrict him, and he'll feel very like stuck in his position and what to do and all of that. I feel like he's gonna find himself in a little bit of a dark place. His mind is gonna take him somewhere that makes him feel very paralyzed. He's going to feel like there's no way out. His thoughts are gonna kind of rule him. I feel like allegedly he's going to feel very like bound to something. I don't know if anyone knows of what this could be, but I don't know if this is a contract of some kind, or physically he's going to feel stuck where he is. But obviously, given the situation he's in, he doesn't really know how to move forward, or where to move forward, or like who to trust or what to trust. This is a process of him fighting back, him finding the courage, but then slipping back into the stuff trying to go against him is just a little bit stronger than he is, you know. Like I don't think mentally he's gonna do very well. Obsessive thoughts, like about himself, negative ones too. Someone of authority of some kind, like a female figure, but like in the area of law and legal matters, will kind of almost like instruct him or like encourage him to like wrap things up, like put things to an end, tie loose ends up of some kind, things with people that he's left unanswered or not, you know, if things that he's left open with people, he'll have to tie them up again, put a cap on maybe projects he wanted to continue. There's definitely going to have to be some sort of ending here. I don't get the death card, so I don't feel like he's going to leave or anything like that, but I do feel like this is the end of some of what we know of him. like this is the end of this cycle. I think he's gonna have to put in the work and do all that kind of boring legal stuff to sort that out, but then afterwards he's gonna feel unsatisfied and like bored, if I'm honest. I think he's gonna continue maybe doing some unethical stuff, but purely because he's bored. Who is the I got this before. Who is the king and queen in his life? I don't think he's with anyone, is there? But there is a couple which I feel like is going to really help him and boost him and give him the support and comfort. I don't know if it's his mum and dad of some kind, but there's going to be a lot of like activeness on his channel, I feel like, within the next 3 months, let's say. A lot of moving about, a lot of travel. I don't know whether he's going to sort of move into travel videos of some kind for some reason, but I see him moving about a lot. Oh, then I get the death card. I can't leave on the death card. I can't finish this video on the death card. I don't see him staying stuck in that restricted binds that he found himself in, whether that is mentally. I think he's actually going to quite easily set himself free, because the card that comes after death is the Nine of Pentacles. So he moves from the Devil to the Nine of Pentacles, and as a transition, that's really positive. Like, he moves away from the things that control him and keep him stuck and stagnant to being independent. I think he's going to trust less people. I think he's going to do something solo. I think he's going to travel and enjoy kind of all this money that he's made from previous projects. He's going to make use of that, utilize that in a way to create maybe travel content out like side, something to do with being outside, and it's going to help his mental health too. It's also going to make him improve as a person. So I feel quite optimistic about this reading, if I'm honest. This is more of a positive one. I don't see him being stuck in this negative mindset for too long, which I think is good, regardless of like all these accusations and stuff. Like, I ultimately just want people to improve and realize what they have done and that it's bad, and, you know, hold themselves accountable and all that jazz. Shall see. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video now because I've been doing this for way too long. Subscribe to my channel to be notified every time I make a brand new video. If you enjoyed content like this, let me know in the comment section below, please, who you would like me to read in the future. Give me some suggestions. I am on social media such as Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. I have a Patreon if you want to support me on there. Thank you to my top patrons. And I also have a tarot reading Facebook and Instagram, so book a reading over there if you're interested. All the links are down there in my video description. Bye guys, and I'll see you very soon.